just cannot make friends, not because I don't like people, I really like them, but they don't find my conversations very interesting. And so the first time they'll pretend to be liking me, but then somehow they don't take my calls. So yeah, so I don't have any friends. I know that it takes a lot to be exciting all the time. It takes a lot to make sense all the time, or at least pretend to pretend to know your shit, you know what you're saying all the time. So it takes a lot. And there was this saying that I completely am with, and it says that if you know nothing, you say a lot. If you know something, what's there to say? So I'm with that thought. Yeah.
That's just, you don't deal with it too much. You're like, चलो ठीक है, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे.
And precisely this is the reason why I act. Because जितनी भड़ास है मेरी, वो मैं कैमरा के सामने निकालता हूँ और परफॉर्मेंस में निकाल देता हूँ, और मैं बोलता नहीं, मैं नहीं हूँ, कैरेक्टर है.
Your film Adhoni was one of the most talked about films. Your performance was really appreciated. Did you have any expectations for the National Award, and now do you have any expectations from IFA?
No, the thing is that my job is done on the last day of the shoot of the film. I'm a very, very selfish actor. I'm just concerned about the kind of experience I have while shooting with the film. I just don't care about the box office numbers. I'm being extremely honest here. And if you get some kind of a validation from somebody likes your work and gives you a statue, you'll feel good about it at that point of time. But that's about it. I'm not looking forward to anything. It's just the experience of just shooting with the film is what is the most important thing.
And you're going to vote at the IFA voting weekend.
Yeah, so I voted for myself.
You will be around recently in Bollywood. So have you ever faced something like that, or what is your take on that?
See, I can only say through my experience, and I think in 2011 in October I decided to quit TV, and I was thinking of going somewhere else, but in the next 3 months I got high opportunity, and from then onwards till now, all the films that I've released and all the films that I've signed for next 1.5 years, these are the films that I really wanted to do. Not because there are like no options, but these are the films that I really, really wanted to do. So having this luxury of choosing the kind of scripts and projects out of many, so I cannot complain. So it's my personal experience. Having said that, well, yes, nepotism is there, and it's everywhere. It's just not in Bollywood. And so we can't do anything about it. But yes, so nepotism can coexist and nothing will happen. But at the same time, if you deliberately don't allow right talents to come up, then there's a problem. Then the whole structure of the industry will collapse one day. Having said that, but till then, it's fine.
किस तरह से टैकल करते हैं आप करके और कुछ टिप्स देना चाहेंगे तो?
मैं मेहनत करके पैसे कमाते हैं, एडिशन खरीदता हूँ और अपने घर और अपने काम में एडिशन लगाते हैं. Check it out. I'm not very. I was having my trip, so I'm not very informed about what. Obviously, I forget because nobody told me. But I have to go through the list to actually. But any which ways, any awards, they're like. There's a group of jury, and it's always subjective. I think film watching and also acting and performances, all these things are very, very abstract and so very subjective. So we can't say that, okay, if these awards endorse these actors or films, so this is it. Like, that's their subjective point.
What's your favorite part about IFA?
Favorite part is the story that I'm telling myself. Back in 2006, I was a background dancer performing in IFA. And in 2013, when I made my debut, they were kind enough to allow me again to perform as an actor. And in 2017, I'm nominated as the best actor. So it's a nice story to tell, right?
It's amazing. Now you're देखना चाहते हैं अपने आप को इंडस्ट्री में किस मकाम पे देखना चाहते हैं?
मैं फ्यूचर ऑब्सेस्ड नहीं हूँ. मैं फ्यूचर के बारे में ज़्यादा सोचता नहीं. मैं आज के बारे में सोचता हूँ. मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि आप मुझसे इतना खूबसूरत सवाल पूछ रहे हैं, तो मैं क्या बताऊँ? तो I'm right now, right here, 100%. That's what I'm doing, man.
We're celebrating A.R. Rahman 25 years in music. What do you think is the secret to staying relevant?
I think it's letting go of the known. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you are like really talented and you learn, you acquire skills, you try to hold on to everything that you know. But there is a time when you let go of those things. I would quote my favorite Cohen line. It says that you lose your grip and then you slip into the masterpiece. So that is what it is.
Nice. Inspiration किससे लेते हैं?
अपने आप से.
Wow, कोई किसी और से नहीं.
अगर जब तक आप till the time you know the why of doing what you do, you don't need an inspiration.
So India's पहले कैसे जज करते हैं उसको?
किसको?
कोई प्रोजेक्ट लेने से पहले किसी भी फिल्म को साइन करने से पहले कैसे जज करते हैं?
दो चीजें हैं. एक तो कहानी अच्छी होनी चाहिए. अगर मुझे सुनने में अच्छी लगे तो मैं मुझे बताने में अच्छी लगेगी, और दूसरा ये कि मुझे कुछ ऐसा हो जो मुझे पता नहीं हो कि कैसे करना है, और that not knowing how to do it is why I do it.
So IFA this year is focused on bridging the gap between India and America. Are we going to be seeing you out here a little more?
Well, yes, of course. IFA has always done that. It's given us this super international platform so that we can show whatever we've got. But yes, having said that, there's a long way to go. A bit more of courage, a bit more of creativity would go a long way. But good start.
You think you want to maybe transition into Hollywood or anything like that?
If I'm good enough, I will.
You're more than good enough. Thank you. आप काम करना चाहते हैं?
Jennifer Lawrence.
According to you, everyone must read.
School books, because that's how you and I think people miss out on religious texts these days. I would just tell them to also read that, so as to see that there could be striking similarities between what we study now and those texts written then. Those are different layers of cryptography. It's like condensed metaphors, but if you want to see, you can see these things. So that is very fascinating. So they should also read. And the third thing that I think everyone should read is coding. Just like one language is required for any career, like doctor, you need to know English or Hindi or anything like that. In 3 to 5 years, everyone will be required to know coding.
If you could meet any historical figure, who would it be?
Mr. Gandhi.
Why?
I find his ideologies very, very exciting. More exciting than what I thought as a kid when I was reading what he did. So now I understand its value, just not in moral and moral sense or ethics sense, but also in terms of getting people together and making them good individually and as a team. So that's great.
हाई टाइम से भी अगर कुछ ज़्यादा इमीडिएट टाइम हो सकता है तो वो टाइम है अभी, बिकॉज दिस इज़ फॉर श्योर आवर इग्नोरेंस कैन नॉट स्टॉप व्हाट इज़ इनएविटेबल. और मैं जो इनएविटेबिलिटी की बात कर रहा हूँ वो है जो अभी टेक्नोलॉजी से भी आएगी. आपको मैं एक फैक्ट देता हूँ, 65% ऑफ द किड्स हु आर गोइंग टू किंडरगार्टन दिस ईयर will end up, if they ever end up having a job, will end up working for technologies that are still not invented yet. तो जब ऐसा होता है तो schools को भी पता नहीं होता कि वो पढ़ाएं क्या. तो अभी हम ऐसे स्टेट पे हैं कि हमें पता ही नहीं है कि हमें पढ़ाना भी क्या चाहिए. तो हम कितना अच्छा पढ़ते हैं और आपस में हमारी रैंकिंग क्या है, ये तो इममटीरियल हो गया. मैं आपको एक ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम बता रहा हूँ. हमें नया नॉलेज स्ट्रक्चर बना रहे हैं एजुकेशन, जिसमें हम इमोशनल क्वेश्चन पे ज़्यादा ध्यान दे रहे हैं, जिसमें हम बच्चों को ये बता रहे हैं कि अननोन सिचुएशंस में कैसे डील करें, क्योंकि हमेशा अननोन सिचुएशंस ही होंगे, क्योंकि अब रेट ऑफ चेंज इंक्रीज हो रहा है. पहले चेंज कांस्टेंट था, अब रेट ऑफ चेंज इंक्रीज हो रहा है. तो हमें ही नहीं पता कि क्या होने वाला है. सो फॉर दैट योर इमोशनल स्टेबिलिटी इज़ वेरी वेरी रिक्वायर्ड. सो इमोशनल क्वेश्चन पे ज़्यादा ध्यान दिया जा रहा है. कोडिंग सिखाई जा रही है बच्चों को, क्योंकि अगर आपको कोडिंग नहीं आती 5 साल के अंदर, अभी जैसे मैं कुछ भी हो सकता हूँ, कुछ भी हो सकते हैं. जैसे हमें अंग्रेज़ी आती है, हमें मैथमेटिक्स आता है, वर्किंग नॉलेज है जिससे हम लोग बात कर सकते हैं. 5 साल के बाद कोडिंग वैसी चीज़ हो जाएगी. और हमारा इग्नोरेंस, हमें नहीं पता है, लोग इस बारे में बात नहीं करते हैं, विल नॉट स्टॉप इट फ्रॉम कमिंग. अगर लोग इसके बारे में पता, सबके पास गूगल है, गूगल पे जाएं, पता करें. ये सारी चीज़ें हो रही हैं, ये होंगी नहीं, हो रही हैं. एंड इट हैज़ ऑलवेज बीन लाइक दिस. फ्यूचर इज ऑलरेडी हियर. इट इज़ जस्ट अनइवनली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड. उसको पूरा आने में थोड़ा टाइम लगता है,
लेकिन आ जाएगा, आज नहीं तो कल आ ही जाएगा क्योंकि it is inevitable, it is mathematical, it is that precise.
Who's your favorite author?
Kurt Vonnegut.
Okay. This is Riza from Malaysia. He loves reading literature. Which ones are his favorite?
The Unbearable Lightness of Being, 100 Years of Solitude, and Norwegian Wood.
Right. Your interest in literature is as diverse as Virginia Woolf to Mormon.
Yeah. Yes.
You have this tendency of posting couplets from prominent poets. You've been posting Nida Fazli Saab. You've posted Jazbi Saab, which I think a lot of people wouldn't even be maybe knowing because he's a very classical poet.
Absolutely.
And since I'm from Aligarh, so I know that because he is from Aligarh.
Ji.
So how important is reading or maybe pursuing certain hobbies for any creative person, and how it impacts their art, creative art?
I think it's very important. That's the only thing, by the way, which is in our hand to be creative. There are many things because of which we become creative, but the only thing that is so dynamic that it's in our hand completely, which will make us more creative, is this learning and learning new things. By the way, just not learning one thing, learning new things and learning the same thing in a different way. You know what I'm saying? So you learn different things and you learn the same thing in different ways. And there is this thing which we understand now that the more you learn, the less time it takes to learn more. So you become so generally we think that we are left with so much time, we are so busy in our lives and there are so many years left. How many things we can learn? What will happen? No, it's not that. The more you learn, the lesser it will take for you to learn even more. And that's a very key thing to understand. So you will start learning many things. Things that you will try for the first time will be 50% easier for you than anybody else. And it is not about competing, let me tell you. Of course, when you have 10, 12 skills, you will take care of yourself for the rest of your life. Skill you can. By the way, with no skill you can. But say that you have 10, 12 skills. And also, you're not stopping because you like doing it. Then you're safe for the rest of your life. So it is not about competing at all. So it is more about now, like, do you want to come and we have the experience together. So it's more about coming together than competing. I remember when I was actually making a decision of getting this house. I was shooting for a film in Budapest and I saw the video from there and from there I decided to get this house. And it was really, really waiting to get here to actually experience being in this house. So guys, this is my living room. So I define my living room as a time traveling room because there are different stories here, condensed in different forms, talking about different history, future, everything. These pictures here are very interesting, fascinating, ancient pictures. And if you look closely into any other picture, it actually tells you a completely old, fascinating story. Guys, let me take you to a room where I actually think. Come. मेरे पास बहुत सारे इंटरेस्टिंग गुफ्तगू करने के लिए राइटर्स हैं जिन्होंने कुछ लिख दिए तो मैं पढ़ता रहता हूँ, उनसे बात करता रहता हूँ. This is the study table and I like yellow. I love yellow. That's why I wanted my study table to be here. And by the way, this is my time machine. This is the telescope called Meade 600. And you can see Saturn rings, Jupiter moons, and actually different galaxies, Andromeda also, when the sky is clear. फज है जो कि जो मैं कैसा भी रहूं वो मुझे एक जैसा ही ट्रीट करता है तो फॉरएवरनेस की जो फीलिंग है वो रहती है इसके साथ. I remember when I was in like 3rd or 4th grade and we used to get these miniature cars in noodles bag and I got this Maserati so I wanted to buy that car and finally got that car. So yeah, same color, blue. Well, it's still, the miniature is still with me and it still is very precious. So guys, let me take you over the NASA actually. So this is when I visited, I got myself a uniform by the way. I always wanted to be an astronaut and then I talked myself into becoming a pilot. Then I said, okay, engineer. And then I was confused, so I thought that let's be an actor and be everything. So this is the first dream.
So one thing that I always dreamt to have at my place was a projector. Everything that I really like watching, playing, so I always wanted to buy this, and I got myself this. This घर, जैसे when I was thinking of doing the interior design of this place, so it was a mix of everything. So it wasn't to follow one, अच्छा इस तरीके का घर होना चाहिए, ऐसा pattern follow करना है. जिस तरीके से मेरे दिमाग में thoughts आते रहते हैं, if you look around, you get a feel of it. The kind of concoction is there in my mind. It's out there because it's just nothing, but yeah, also everything. इस घर में बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो जुगाड़ से बनी हैं, बहुत पुरानी हैं और जोड़ के तोड़ के बनाई गई, तो मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगता है ऐसी चीज़ें जो, जैसे मैं खुद भी, मेरा करियर भी बड़ा जोड़ तोड़ के बनाया हुआ है तो मैं बहुत रिलेट कर सकता हूँ.